All right, good morning, good morning. Welcome, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, I know it's a brand spanking new time and it's extra early, but again, early bird gets the worm, so it's very important that you do your homework early. If you ever played any ounce of basketball, if you want to go ahead and catch these wins, you got to be able to box out the haters as quickly as possible, so that way you can go ahead and make these numbers. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get this. Oh, I got this camera. It's like repeat. I'll fix that angle another time. Let's go ahead and get right over to the chart. All right, so the first thing I want to kind of go into overall, if you want to see my breakdown on all the indices, by all means send me a DM. That way you can be part of my Zoom crew, because that starts off at 8:15, but at 8:45, that's when we do the YouTube and everything else. So just keep that in mind. If you want to participate in that, no problem. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram, JD_the_great. So that way you can be partake in some of my drops. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get cranking. If you have not been on my trading floor at any given point, I do suggest that you follow some of my cool little strategies. Some of them are not mine. It's very popular. One is the 15-minute opening range breakout. I love it because it kind of gives me a little bit of a target and understanding where the market could go, and if it gets there, there's probably going to be some momentum in that direction. All right, so to kind of give you an example, we're going to go ahead and look at yesterday's opening range breakout. We got ourselves 930. Let's grab our 930. Where are you? 930. Boom, 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 boom. All right, there it is. All right, so at 930, no, don't you go nowhere. At 9:30, right? So this is from 9:30 to 9:45, the first 15 minutes of the market. We were bullish above this level. We're gonna go ahead and call this bullish. And we were bearish below this level. Now, what was very interesting about this, and if you don't know how I trade, I trade the NQ primarily. I love it. You know, it's just my indicator. That's or indice, I should say. But if you look at it, we broke out with some strength here. I took a little small profit here, and then when we got that second try, I doubted it, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. But then it broke right on out again, and I started playing it to the upside. So I kind of broke even when it got to this level. But when it started hitting some of the levels that I had on my higher time frame, this bad boy was getting itself beat up badly. And when I mean badly, it was starting to get really on my nerves. And I thought that the market was going to go ahead and do something crazy. Now, I'm going to break something down, and I broke this down for a few people in itself. So the first thing is this, right? I believe that at the end of the day, we are dealing with what is considered a paper trading paradox. I did warm up with a paper trade. I did say, wow, I should have taken this in my real account. I did take some things in my live account, which brought me to break even. What annoyed the crap out of me was that when you look at here, in this little area here, we didn't stay consistent when we did that breakout. When we got above that level, hold on, let me bring this a little bit better here. When we got above that level at around 9:30, it did these doji and hammer type of action. When you see stuff like that on a higher time frame, those things are pretty much like the market is in a consolidated state. Those dojis, it has both buyers and sellers in there, and it can be very, very choppy, especially for me. I'm a scalper slash swing trader that every time I try to get in, it just felt like they came after me, right? So this action, just this hammer, we didn't just take off. I should have just stopped here. But here's the thing. On that trade, I did very, very solid because that was part of my paper trading warm-up. So I'm going to explain one caveat What I should have done was, in my paper trading practice, I should have did that before the market and been ready for the real market at 9:30. So that's just one caveat I will share to everybody. If you want to try to be ready for the game, don't wait till game time to warm up. And that's pretty much what I was doing. I was on the sideline just taking some extra jump shots and everything else. And then when it's time to come to the real game, I was already burnt out. That's what that boils down to. So going into this, you could kind of see we came all the way back into here. Now, if you know how the opening range breakout works, and you already know I hate playing inside the ranges, I felt like, well, we gave 1, 2, we even made a higher high in this level here. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe when we get to this higher high, they're waiting to take out this whole entire bottom. Did not happen. They held it, tweezed the bottom, and they liquidated all the way up to here. I was now in the red. So to kind of like really nip this in the bud, these opening range breakouts are very, very important to play on the outside of them. I love them for the outside, but again, opportunities do present themselves, and I was very curious. I was green. I let a trade go from from green to red because of this, because I was targeting below this level, expecting an explosion below here, but they kind of double bottomed it. So when you're doing the opening range breakout, make sure you line up your plan. Make sure you follow it to the T, or you're going to get caught on. Are they really going to cut the grass now? Oh, bear with me. It's nice and cool in South Florida, so I've been enjoying the nice breeze. But anyways, yeah, so if you are going to play to the downside and you're going to continue to the downside on something like this, just make sure you put your stop loss in profit and take a step back. What I did not do, I didn't take a step back, and I was still kind of deep into the trees, and I kind of failed on protecting my account. We're here to protect our account. All right, just to remind y'all that. So this was a good move. I did make it up. I waited till about 2 o'clock. No, sorry, I take that back. I waited, and I was waiting for 2 o'clock. And when I noticed we could not get out of this opening range breakout to the downside again, we kind of started this whole entire trend where 1, we established the low. 2, we tested the low. 3, they tested it again. I was like, okay, so we could probably are stopping a route right here, and this is just going to take off. Around 12 to 1 o'clock, I was part of this whole entire ride up. I think I got stopped up in between here, but I got a good chunk of this entire candle, and that's what kind of recovered a lot of my losses and turned me into a positive day. So the reason why I'm kind of bringing all this up is that when you're trading, not everything is going to go your way. It's just the way it works out. But if you're always taking high probability trades, eventually one of them are going to catch, and you got to have limitations on what you consider are high probability trades, because the market is designed on a numbers game, and if you play the numbers right, you should be good. Let me grab something real quick to kind of point it out. I kind of got a little of my stuff all over. Trying to reorganize this stuff. Bear with me. How much time we have to the market open? Okay, so we got like 30 minutes into the market open. Cool. I think y'all messed with my chart. Oh, it's down here. There it is. All right, so what I want to kind of break down here is this one right over here. All right, so this is very important. So we got probability and trade setup. A lot of my trade setups was perfectly fine, especially when I'm doing the opening range breakout, and you can kind of see these light highlights of green and red. My market dominance was kicking in, letting me know what the potentials were, especially this one here. I should have seen this coming, because this one kind of warned me that this was going to push to the upside, and I kind of ignored it because I was like, well, this is a lot, so I think you're giving me false signals. And you can see they took out all this liquidity here. But when it came down to this one here, it anticipated a green here. Again, I already knew we was not getting any red. I felt like bulls was accumulating here. Nice little push right back up to this upside. And that's the one that I did ignore, but I had enough confluence from this here that told me we was going to continue to this upside. So this little area right here, becoming a profitable trader takes high probability. How much of a probability was it for it to break this opening range? It was high. It was high. What was the trade setup? Well, I already got one confluence here, and I got a MACD that's opening up here. I got a stochastic that's opening up here. It's adding to my probability of success, and it's adding to my structure at the same time. So the goal was, when you're looking for your trade setups and you're looking to try to go ahead and take on the market, you want to make sure that everything is in line, or at least a good chunk of it. If you have like 5 setups that you need, or a checklist items that you need, if you get 4 out of the 5, as long as you follow the execution, you should be good. And that's exactly what happened. I had 4 out of the 5. My market dominance was telling me, hey, this will be red. I used it as part of a pullback, got stopped out of here, but I stayed with the trade and enjoyed this run. So it's very important when you're doing your trades that you follow a proper structure. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Let's get into some charts, because I just got a nice little beep. What is going on, market? What you got for us? So I got an alert telling me, okay, Tesla on the 1 hour. Let's go check out Tesla. What Tesla got going on? It says ready to be shorted. What you got for us, Tesla? Oh, and I got hit with a market dominance. I'll go break down that market dominance real quick and see what's going on there. Okay, I see what happened. So Tesla pre-market, it went up $5. Nice solid move. So we had a very top wick action happening here, and you can kind of see we're pulling back. So when this candle closed, they didn't recapture this wick. They tried. See that little tiny wick right here? They try to recapture it. So now we're dropping. We're $1.21 in. And of course, this is pre-market, so you really can't do this other than shares. But I love to look at this price action to understand what Tesla is trying to do. This thing could try to test all the way down to here, but we got a nice little block because the sellers had an opportunity here and they got scared out. So this could be just a nice little pullback. Let's throw a fib on it. See what this will show us. All right. So 50% will be about around here. And then you got your 618 down here. Oops. Tesla. I hit the space bar by accident. Apologize, folks. And then we got ourselves a nice little 618 right here. So we got 1, 2 areas that they could bounce it here. It looks like it's already bouncing at a 382. Let's see how this momentum holds. Let's go down to a 15-minute. Yeah. They probably come in to test this fair value gap, knowing they got this little bit of a downtrend. Boom. Kind of something like this. And they're looking to try to break that down. If we break out of this thing probably going to go ahead and take out to the upside. Very interesting. We'll see how that goes. I got another alert on Lilly. This one's a little expensive to try to play. I think I built this. This was a weekly play. So let's see how this looks. Yes, it got multiple deviations. Actually, I'm going to start this over a little bit. Multiple deviations for a bump and run. We got ourselves a nice little area here. Kind of giving us this angle there. I forgot I got my Magnet on. Just go ahead and do that. It should make it easy for me to place these. And then we got this. So we broke out of this one here, and we got ourselves a micro trend right here, right? And with this not following suit, that means this one's about to get destroyed. This might even disappear. So I think the next target is for Eli Lilly, probably around this level here. And if it gets to that level, it's probably going to bump its head, and then they're going to try to test this back down. This could be a nice little setup for their earnings. See what happens. Currently on the weekly, it's in a bearish state. Let's see what the daily looks like. Also bearish. And 4 hour looks like it's crossing down. So yeah, this could be a nice little push up. Just that way they could push it right back down. Crossing above 807, above 809 would be great. Looking to retest sell side. All right, so we got around that 807. It kind of got to that 809 and got slammed right when it got to 809. Might not make it. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Actually, let me put this in my, I already got it in my red list. All right, perfect. All right, let's go find some other tickers. I have a screener that I operate with. Let me find it. And what I'm trying to find is large volumes. Let me see what came up in this one here. Let's get rid of my chat. Put that over there. Nothing really. Let's go with some names that I know. I know URI. Pacific Gas and Electric Company. That should be down. Actually, you know what? We'll pull that up because of everything that's going on over in LA. And Tyson Foods. Let's pull those three in itself. Who is calling me right now? Okay, let's end that. All right, so let's do those three real quick. So we got URI, Pacific Electric Co., which is PCG, and then we got ourselves Tyson TSN. So let's start with URI. So we got URI. Large amount of volume came into this one, and it looks like it's doing a nice little push too. Nice accumulation. Got a nice bullish divergence here on this 4 hour. Could get a little bit more of an attack to test out like 752. I don't know how their options are, but I just see a lot of volume in this case. It's a little pricey, but just keep an eye on this and see if this is something that you would like to trade. I will not be surprised that they're aiming for this 829, but it's going to bump its head at 766 because that's where my 200 is, and it is coming from a bearish state. Let's see what the daily looks like. If you don't know who URI is, they do a lot of rental of the construction equipment and everything else. Let me be very specific. All right, general rental segment is a rental of construction, aerial, industrial equipment, general tools, light equipment. I think they even do trucks and stuff. Really, really good company. I think they pay a dividend. Yep, they do pay a dividend. So this one is a good, solid company that pays $1 dividend. Oh man, I wish I saw this sooner. Look at that. Nice little area of support was right here. They didn't let it get that far. Let me go ahead and put this as general. And then we got a nice little explosion at this level. And now we got a gap up the next morning. So I think investors are stepping in. I think they really are going to target this 739 right about here and probably really take on that 50 EMA on the daily. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, very possible. If they can curl this MACD right here on the weekly, you're probably going to get URI going back up into the upside. Even if it doesn't take out the high and come up back to 896 or at 900, whatever move that it does is still going to be solid, because what we're pretty much doing our fib retracement and considering this is the low, and the 382 could be one of the targets or even the 50%. So you could see some sellers probably come inside of this order block. I call them cross candle order blocks or new candle order blocks, whatever you want to call it. But at the end, I just think that that's an order block in itself right in here. And that's probably the target that they really are looking for. So maybe between here and here, you're going to find some type of resistance if they can curl this up. It's kind of wide on this weekly. So this could be just a pullback just to go ahead and take it down some more. But I like what I'm seeing so far for the upside starting this week. If it finished green, finish with highs, maybe even close above the 50 on the weekly, this could really, really look good for a possible reversal. All right. What else do I have? It was PCG. Now, if you don't know Pacific Gas and Electric, then that means you're not in LA. They are probably the most beat up, mismanaged company as far as electric. They're not like your NEE, to kind of give you a little bit of an example. You know, energy does get pullbacks and everything else, but PCG has had some bad raps and lawsuits for how they manage the company, and you could see they were all the way up in this area here, and they've been trying to get back up. So this fire is flat out not helping them right now. So let's see. Oof. Oh man, that's a lot of volume. This thing could break. If it breaks $15, I would love to see what it does. 15.94, so $16. If it breaks that, I'm looking for it to break $15, and then we're probably gonna get a bounce somewhere around here at $13.26. That'll be the first bounce. If it breaks this area, this could be the first bounce in itself. So these two targets will be something I'll look at. If this is optionable, if you have PCG, this is good areas to consider adding to your position if you support the company and what they stand for. But it looks like this weekly is about to go right through that MACD. Let's see this monthly. Yeah, they did a lot of work to try to recapture all their glory days back between 2013 and before that expose out in 2017 and the lawsuits. What a bear flag. Jeez. Nice little break to the downside and continue into here. All right, so there's a lot of volume on PCG, so just keep that one in mind. And then the last one is Tyson Foods. Not too sure why this could be going up from a fundamental standpoint. Looks like the monthly is curling over. Here's your weekly. Oof. This thing can fall right through the weekly. And then here's your daily. Oh, it's already bearish here. So there's a couple things that could be happening here. Maybe they're trying to catch it now at this 55 level before it gets over to earnings. Because of how this is looking. It looks like we tried to come back down. It just was forced down the whole entire time. But these candles don't show me no strength. I don't like these candles. When I see candles that's like this, it makes me a little worried that they were accumulating throughout the process. I like to see my downtrends kind of like this. Spikes, spikes, consolidation, spikes, spikes, consolidation. Like I like these. But this, I feel like it's a downward consolidation, and then it starts to build those falling wedges, or at least how I see them. Let me see if I can find an example of it ever doing. Yeah, here's one. It was downtrending the whole entire time, right? Downtrending, 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 but it was just tiny candles. Then the tiny candles reversed. Now it's making tiny candles. I think these are retailers. Institutions are sitting out and they're waiting to see, oh, where are the retailers parking their money? All right, looks like they're parking it somewhere around here on the sell side, and then they just jump in with the first spike. Then the brokers come back down to fill the rest of the order. Boom. And then they never look back because they're going to protect the brokers for the most part. So boom, that was a good area. And then boom, that was your next support. And then this thing just started a trend line from here to here. Oops, not there. There. And that was your whole entire move here until they broke it down. And then new investors stepped in, probably retail traders. Wrong one. And they stepped in here, and then it held, and then the institution stepped in and was like, hey, I've been in since here, let me just take my money. So I feel like that could be the case roughly happening here. So just keep that in mind. If you're trying to sell Tyson, you might be in the middle of possible accumulation to try to go back up. All right, it is 9:15. So now that the market is starting to get a little bit ready and about to go up, I kind of left this on the back end as far as what I wanted to cover, because what I want to kind of point out, I want to point out the fact that we got an alert for my market dominance on NQ. Now, because I'm explaining things to you and I don't like to operate in FOMO, right, is because at the end of the day, that thing kind of ran in whatever direction it is, but I want to spend more energy explaining everything to you. There it is, right? I want to explain everything as far as what I see. So I don't like to have FOMO. I probably not going to see no setup, probably not going to take no trade based on that alert, but I want to go ahead and look at that alert and see what's going on here. That is what I'm trying to avoid, because there's this little tiny area right in here that I call my what the hell is happening danger FOMO black hole zone. Like this area right here is the one that gets you in a lot of trouble before you end up being profitable. And This one always creeps up. This one always will be with you. This one always will be a fight because we are very emotional creatures as traders. It's right around dedication drive, seesaw lane, and almost focus quasi consistent. This area here, it's far removed from luck because you know what you're doing, but it's just your FOMO always eats up your profit. And the black hole zone, basically it's almost like a vacuum. It sucks all your profit. You might start off the day green and then out of nowhere you finish red because you don't control this. So what we're about to point out is how this can kind of happen when we go over to that alert. So that alert came in on the 45 minute saying it's ready to be shorted. Let's go see what you got NQ over there in that 45 minute. Says it's ready to be shorted. Not much. It didn't really go too far. Could have been a news move. Very possible. Had a nice little push to the upside, spiked up, and then we had a nice little wick back down. And then as soon as the candle closed, we had an attempt to the upside, then it came right back down. Actually, this kind of follows what Tesla did too. Along the way, a good 116 ticks to the downside. Let's go ahead and break this down on a lower time frame. Let's see what the 15 minute did. Nice little breakdown here. Yeah, this thing looks like Tesla. I think we did the same thing here on Tesla. Nice little solid move here. Another thing, I like NQ. Tesla, like the top holdings are like your Teslas, your Nvidias. AMD has some effect because it's a sentiment play from an Nvidia. Microsoft, Meta, all these, if you chart those, they usually look very similar along the way, and you can kind of see. Remember how I said with Tesla, we looked like we're going to come for the fair value, and then we had some targets. Let me go ahead and pull up Tesla. Doesn't that look familiar? All right, so we got ourselves a nice little break on Tesla, but we didn't break NQ. So I'm going to go ahead and sit out a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and find something very interesting along the way. So I don't have the FOMO on the 45 minute play, right? Had a nice little breakdown, and I probably could have had this 116 ticks, give or take, maybe like 75 of it, depending on my entry. But what is generally happening here is it just could not take out all the levels. Maybe it was just a 45 minute fair value gap. Maybe because they're stepping in because there's a 15 minute fair value gap that's holding. We're not bullish, but we need to break out this area. Whatever the reason is, I'm not looking for a strong trade per se, especially coming into the opening of the market. I'm looking just to kind of see what the market is thinking so I can be prepared for the market and I don't liquidate myself, right? That's the whole thing. We're not giving away money. We're looking for say it with me, folks, high probability trades. Things that you know for a fact at the end of the day, I've done all my research, and if it follows this plan, guess what? I should be in profit. Not know for the fact like I know this market is going to go in this direction. No, not that. We're looking specifically for everything to be in line. All the tea leaves are pointing, and then we're getting in with a solid entry, and we have an insurance policy of a stop loss of what level, and as soon as it breaks out, I'm taking the trade. No hesitation. All right, so while we wait for NQ, let's go ahead and check out what's going on with oil. Oil is looking good, and I know Neo's in here, so I know he loves his oil. So actually, I think Wednesday will be when you play oil. I think if I'm not mistaken, but this thing has been breaking out some levels that I've been really interested about. Look at that. Let me get rid of this thing. That's how much consolidation we had. If this thing breaks out, I will not be surprised. We go beeline to 80, beeline to 85. This will look really, really good. Let's see what else we got. No, I don't think I want to do SPY. Actually, let me go check out SPY. What's going on with SPY? Why did that come up? You got a nice little channel. Oh, okay. I think I know why I had that there. Let me get my pre-market on. Where was it again? I know it was on here. No. Sessions. Where's sessions? Sessions should be here. All right. When all else fails, grab another chart. All right. This one doesn't have our pre-market. Actually, I think it does. I think you do. All right. And this was SPY. Let's look at that. Okay, so I was looking for 584. So this 584 started breaking down around here. Okay, so this is a spike. All right, so what am I targeting here? So 584, probably gonna be targeting this area here. Looking for 588. This might have been an old setup I was looking for probably a few days ago. Yeah, I think it was back here from Friday. So what I'm looking for now that SPY looks like it's reversing and everything else, we're probably gonna fill this imbalance here. Oh, Starbucks, you're making moves to the upside again, you jerk. It's probably gonna go ahead and take out this area here, come back to this fair value gap, then hit the target. I was looking for it to come back and retest this order block and probably then reverse. So look for SPY, look for I did miss an entry. Listen, Rod, did that come from me, okay? Did that come? I didn't miss the entry per se, but I did miss the entry because I can't trade SPY in the pre-market. That's just how it works. I don't have Rod money for me to go ahead and make it rain and buy like 100 shares of SPY. No, don't worry. I'm working on it though. Oh, wait. Are we talking about on oil? Or are you talking about on SPY? On SPY, I don't think so. I don't think you're missing an entry on SPY. I think what we're missing here is a good price. So there's a couple things you could wait for it to come back to 584 and then hold above it again and then liquidate those sellers that stepped into here. That could be the case. Or you could just wait to see what the reaction is at 588, maybe short it back down and play the reverse. But I will say this, on the daily, on the daily it looks like we're still kind of bearish. So I want to see how this opens and how it looks. If that starts to cross, we'll probably get ourselves a nice little push to that 584 for real. All right, we got ourselves 7 minutes. So let me go ahead and get myself ready for the market. So let's go ahead and get ourselves ready and queue. So like I said, I love my opening range breakouts. I really do. Let me go ahead and get rid of all these drawings. Let's get this 15-minute here. Let me get my trading chart up. And get ourselves ready, like really ready. All right, that's that. And I want to point out a couple of things that I see before this opens. Get out of that time frame. Let's see. The first thing I see, I think we got ourselves a nice little support somewhere around this area here. So I would say, if as long as we don't break down under that 21,000, I think we're going to try to get ourselves to find more buyers around here. The only thing that's a little bit of a caveat, that whole entire drop when they pulled back into it, it did go a little deeper than I expect. So I would say 21,018. Let's mark that off. $21,018.50 is going to be my point of interest right here, and see if that fair value gap does not get tested. What I would love to see is that it just keeps on holding this area as we get into less than 4 minutes in the market, and then start to take out that liquidity. Kind of like what I said with SPY, right? You know, it's holding these supports. It might come back and retest, but retesting under 21,000 would not be great. I would love for it to just hold, continue, and then push back up. Oh, I like to just box out the first 15 minutes of the market. You're going to see how it kind of builds and sets itself up. So what I'm looking for is a close above. Let's just say that this is the level that we're looking for. I want to see a close above like that, right? And I don't care what the wicks do at all. I just want it to just close above that level, and then I'll play in that direction. As long, and also I like to have confluence, so I might wait for a pullback on one of my smaller time frames. A lot of things I do with that one just to make sure things stay in line. I think I gotta move that. I got my finger swim there. Yeah, you know what? I'll deal with that a little bit. Hold on. Just bear with me. Let me switch over to this camera and fix my thinkorswim. Make sure it's in the right place. Yeah, I want you down there. Alright. Let's bring that back. Alright, cool. Just a chart. Alright, not looking for the alert. So we got less than 3 minutes, and look, we're already starting to really push up. I bet you that's probably Tesla that's doing that. See how Tesla is moving? Nice little move here. Another one was SPY. Look how it's moving. Oh, actually, that's not the SPY. Where's my other chart? Where are you, SPY? I'm like, wait, this chart looks so different. Knife and tree. There it is. See, nice little move here. Here's Tesla. Nice little move. So Tesla is they try to recapture that wick on Tesla right there. Still on that bullish side. It'll drag the SPY. Especially if it takes out this high, the new SPY believers will get in and probably buy at these higher prices. And then you got yourself the NQ, which is kind of like trying to follow through with that level, especially with that rejection here. All right. Gotta give me 1 second, these little ones here. All right, we got less than 60 seconds. Let's see what the market has for us. Let me come back over to NQ. Let's see. Let's get ourselves ready with the opening range. Ding, ding, ding. Come on, delete. Why is this not deleted? Oh, there we go. All right, so first 15 minutes is starting to build. So let's get ourselves ready. So I'll be bullish above this line. I'll be bearish below this line. And we'll see how that goes. Put this over here. All good, all good. All right, get my other charts lined up. Yeah, you see how close we got into that, like 21,018. That's the one I want to see we hold. I really want to see that. See if we see anything on this 15-minute. Kind of the same thing, same level roughly. 21,026. See if that holds, but we already toyed with that level. I got a 50, you can see my 50 and my 200 EMA is just around this area. They're trying to hold it. We almost crossed it with a death cross here, but they're trying their best to hold it up. So my goal for this new time, I'm going to give y'all the opening range breakout. I'm going to give y'all what the market dominance looks like. At 9:45, we got a hard stop. And the goal is, hey, now you got these levels, go ahead and execute. Tomorrow we'll review how did it pan out? How did the certain setups look, and did you take it or not? And we'll just keep on building from there on Tuesdays to Thursdays and just keep it that way for the month of January. Doing a little bit of a spin on what I normally do it before you take the trade. All right, looks like that 20,018, they got right down to it. They got right on down to it. Got to 21,017.75. So I'm thinking we're probably going to push a little bit down even further. I don't think they're going to catch it here unless all these people for the fair value gap is stepping in. Let me go ahead and mark this off. A fair value gap. That's why. Hit right on the 50% of the fair value gap. Probably the other reason why we bounced like that. Like, to be honest, everybody is like, when it comes down to the market, there's a lot that actually happens, and you got a summation of everybody's ideology and what they're seeing and what they're looking for, and these levels they're probably marking it off because their Fibonacci sits there, or they might be marking it off because it's their favorite number because it's round, or whatever the reason is. We don't care. It's just if it reacts to it, then I have to respect it and just stay on the side of the winners. That's what we're doing here. So just stick with that, and you should be able to have a solid, profitable day. So we got one level. We got this level here. Come on. Sometimes this magnet just does not activate. I don't know. Very weird. But anyways, that's that level roughly. Oh, it did activate. All right, 21,083.50. That's what we need to break so we can continue to the upside. We got ourselves 4 minutes in. We got ourselves maybe another 11 minutes or so until the market candle closes, I should say. So just be conscious of that. Let me lower my leverage. I was toying with some ideas on paper trade. If you haven't paper traded yet, I suggest that you get your paper trade on. Get yourself warmed up. Get yourself loose on seeing your strategy. If Big Papi Ortiz has to warm up in the batter's box a little bit before he actually swings for real, when the pitch come, you should too. I don't watch enough baseball to know what the rules are. Do they swing there, or do they swing at the ready mark, or whatever they call that thing? I don't know. Something. I just know they warm up. All right, so this first 5 minutes is done. So let's go ahead and see what that 5 minutes. It got a nice little rocket doji right here. That I like the like. I feel like all the buyers just stepped in and is just going to push this all the way back up. Pin bar is another name for it. Um, However way you call it, doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, that's what it looks like. Oh, there we go. It's starting to break out that level and making our 15-minute opening range a little bit more different. That's the area. We just keep on adjusting along the way. All right, let me go check out my red list while this is actually formulating. My red lists are things that I think are pretty cool, solid options, and probably could be plays when it's all said and done. Let's go ahead. I already did Lily. Let's do go. I always say Golden State. What do I say? Golden State. It's Goldman Sachs. This one was very fun. I was watching this move on Goldman Sachs a couple of days ago. I want to say it was probably around the new year, and we kind of spiked this up. I was looking to try to play this up, but before I could get in, it kind of took off, and I was looking at the level, and I was like, damn, that's a good level, but I want this one down here. But it already took off, and I sat back. Don't chase, because you could see all of this price action came back and got everybody. All right, UNH. Oh my God, this thing always gets away from me. No matter how much I try to play this thing, it's like the one I just can never understand its technique and itself. I was in here and I was looking for a $600 call on this one, and it just took forever to accumulate this, just forever. But nice, good explosion here. I'm thinking that there's a possibility that it could break down, because that looks like a bear flag a little bit, but I'm also looking for it to break out somewhere around 550, and then that should take off, because these people are looking for profit somewhere, and if they're still accumulating, it might be up here. I just didn't get enough time. Maybe I should have did March. Ulta, this one was a jerk. This one was a real jerk. I saw we kept on like short lower highs the whole entire time, and then they had one more here. So I actually was looking for a breakdown somewhere around this level here, and it broke out of one of my, I can't remember what level, but it broke out of one of my levels. It might have been like 430 or something, and I was like, oh, we're gonna play this down. And then it kind of like played, and I was like, it's just bear flagging. I think it might have been this one. And I was like, it's just bear flagging. Man, the next day, boom, that thing just exploded. That thing was so damn annoying. But yeah, I'm still looking at that. I did a good play on Zscaler. This one was a downside. I got this candle, but then they reversed it. Boeing was okay, but I really think this is setting up for a bull flag. Look at that. That looks good. That looks real good. If you don't know what happens during earnings, just do some research. We'll leave it as that. CVX. This goes with all the other oils. Everything is rocking with oil. Absolutely rocking. I love what's going on with oil. I did a little bit of a play here. I got a new paper trade because I never traded Oxy like that. I got a paper trade on Oxy to kind of see what's going on that side. And then SoFi, my baby, this thing looks like it's trying to make a nice little move to this upside. So very interested on what SoFi does here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this cracking. Hold on, give me 1 second. We're back. Okay, so we got ourselves about 5 minutes. So let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what's happening on NQ on a 5 minute. What are you doing? Oh, nice break. So you see how that, like I said, those pin bars are You know, shout out to Rod. Rod loves those. Those pin bars are something serious. Look like we got a nice little explosion. Boom. Then we got push. Boom. So let's see if they're going to go ahead and keep on pushing this bad boy. Let's go back over to 15 minute. Let's readjust ourselves. Nice and solid. There we go. What I would love to see is some solid consolidation. Yesterday's opening range breakout was jerkish. They used the opening range as an area of consolidation. That was very annoying. It's hard to find trades and be able to hold on to trades, and it gave senses of being bearish and bullish. And I feel like that's how a lot of new traders. I don't know if you ever felt that, where it felt like you getting hit with whiplash back and forth. So I'm a big proponent on those to just sit out. If it's hitting your stop loss like 2 times in a row, you might want to do some top down analysis and find those dojis, because you're probably inside of a higher time frame consolidation. Those higher time frame consolidations look really, really good on your lower time frame as trends, but they're just not doing that. It's not going to break it because there's sellers waiting to either buy or sell it at or those areas. Let me go ahead and just go check out my FX book. If you have not checked out the news, see what's going on over there yonder. All right, so we already had the PPI and everything else. Sat back for that. We got a Fed speaking at 10. We have another one speaking at 3. We have a bill auction, but that doesn't have much of an effect. Monthly budget. First shot at crude oil stock change. That's going to come out, so that's going to affect oil. But the real oil numbers come out on Wednesdays, and that's CPI. Oh, damn. Oh, I don't know if Neo's still here. I forgot. I know there's a way, because PPI was today, CPI is tomorrow, and I remember he was telling me something about how it mixes. I'm gonna have to give him a call later. Just depends on, like, one comes before the other or after. I forgot what the rule is. But PPI was already given. So if you don't know what PPI is the one that gives you the wholesalers what they're dealing with their inflation and everything else, and CPI is the consumer side. So that's what that breaks down to. So right now we got PPI, we got Feds talking. They probably going to talk about the CPI that's coming. If that thing comes hot, then that means the market's price setting up for a downside, and all this price action is just a prelude to a kiss goodbye. So we'll see what happens. Got less than 90 seconds left in the candle. I keep saying market. Last on the candle before it closes. Let me go ahead and get rid of our red list over here, and I'm going to stop in a few. I just want to make sure I don't see any setups. I just want to give you y'all levels. More than likely, this is our levels, right? Bullish, if it's above 21,129. Bearish below 21,017. We are sitting on top of a fair value gap on the 15 minute. So this could be just a hold and never break down to that downside and continue to the upside. Very possible. But we are in a bearish state. Just make sure you mark off your levels. Another thing that I am noticing, it looks like some of the lower time frame. Let me go to the 5 minutes so I can show you what I mean. Here's your 5 minute. It started to look a little bullish, and here's your 1 minute that it looks like we're already bullish. So if this holds with the 5 minute, it's probably going to try to grab the 15 minute and take it up with it. And it looks like we're starting to open this up. So kind of give y'all an idea, maybe something like that with that crossing, kind of like that opening up of it. Let's fix that a little bit. Kind of like that. If this starts to break through that zero line, yeah, this thing might take off to that upside. That's what we're looking at. All right. So that said, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time. This is before you take the trade, and the goal behind it is to kind of just get y'all ready for the market. For the most part, listen. At the end of the day, do not, and I repeat, do not fall inside of here where you're like, damn, I'm in a losing streak. For 2025, I want all my traders to warm up with a paper trade. Wish they would have taken in their real account. Taking in their real account with consistency, the same consistency and discipline when they were paper trading that gave them the wow, and never fall into this losing streak. So you have an imaginary line. Let's break this cycle and just get ourselves profitable, happy with the money that we make, and then we warm up every day with some paper trade. So that said, there's a couple links down below, especially the one that's down there for Elite. Elite is giving out 90% off, and there's about 4 more days left. If you're not a seasoned trader and you don't know how to trade futures, this is not for you. I'm just being frank with you. It can get very, very pricey really fast, and I don't want you to just throw money into the account. Go ahead, click the link, do one of my one-on-ones, and I'll break some of that stuff down. But overall, I want y'all, if you are seasoned, take advantage. 90% off. We don't know when they're going to bring that 90% off again. They usually do it for the Black Friday, Christmas, but they extended it until the end of this week. So go ahead, click the link down below, get yourself an Elite account, so that way you can get yourself funded and you can trade with other people's money. That said, I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow at 8:15 for all my insiders, and we'll see you at 8:45 on YouTube. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.